Howdy there, folks. Welcome back to Campaign 12. I think we're on episode 10, hard as it is to believe. And I'm starting out with just kind of where things have landed us. Right? So we're more than a year in. What is that, 14 months or so in? And it's kind of interesting that my national morale is as high as it is. It's actually gone up 6 points in the last couple of months. And why that seems to be, or kind of what's the difference, Union's AI is doing better than it's ever done, but it's odd where the difference is. It seems like when it comes to state support, I've actually lost more than the Union, right? They've only lost 6.5. I've lost 9.5. My private wealth, though. So I think this is kind of why you don't take those print notes unless you really have to. And it's why I got to change the AI setting to only take those print notes for an emergency borrowing situation, because they probably should have as much private wealth. So that'd be a couple ticks higher for their national morale. What's I think most funny is that we've both lost morale due to naval engagements. They've just lost quite a bit more, right? They've lost almost 7 points. We've lost about a half a point. And through battles, the non-objective stuff in battles, we've lost 1.5. They've lost 3. It's not a huge difference, but it does kind of account for it. So anyways, that's how we got here. Their men fielded is low. I think it's expired contracts and they're waiting to get them up. I haven't switched over to the Union side. I intended to in this campaign, but the AI was doing so well that I decided not to touch it and just see how it goes. I would still like to see if I can get the kind of massive foreign intervention when one side maybe breaks below 55 or 50 national morale, and the Union would be able to get the Spanish because I took, my goodness, I took filibustering as one of my policies to leave that open. But anyways, that's how I thought I would start this one. Recap of what's going on. We're trying to finish off the Tennessee campaign, which got off to a very good start in the previous episode, right, with the win over here and the win down in Memphis. And now we have to deal with, I would say, just the third corps, which is much depleted. The second corps is an actual force you kind of need to pay attention to. We're going to put Garnett in there. I'm going to take Bragg out of scouting and move him up just ever so slightly. I think Whitting, because he's the kind of commander of all three of those armies, that as long as they're close and he's close, he should be able to call them in. And so I think they'll all show up. Over here, I think I'll send McCullough in. And, I mean, we want a quick win and we want to open up the supply lines after that. Maybe I'll move Price that far. But anyways, the Tennessee campaign so far looks pretty good. The downside, of course, is that when you collapse down and you have to concentrate against them, there's nothing up here. So if this Army of Kentucky wants to push down and in, no doubt they could take Nashville. The AI seems to be approaching Knoxville through, I would say, probably one of the worst paths, which is coming through this supply desert and then trying to come down. If you can't use the railroad, this is such a slog. And it's out of supply. I mean, you can see Ferguson, I don't know what the issue is there. Oh, it must have been that we had used up our allotment of rail transport. But whatever the case is, we're going to try to get them being Ferguson's corps, into supply somewhere. There is, I think we actually got pushed back by a large corps that was over here in the last episode, and I was kind of regrouping to counterattack. I want to take everybody out of scouting and try to find where that push is. The Union is down from 11 invasions to just 8. So those are the things we got to count as progress in this campaign. Beauregard is okay, so let's take him out of scouting and get him moving. And I would leave Johnston right where he is. So we'll move cautiously forward. I believe there are actually 2 squadrons here, but they're right on top of each other, so they're a little hard to see here. We'll move New Orleans out, and then we can see the other one. But You can see New Orleans Squadron is so beat up, it doesn't really make sense to use. I think I'm going to send all those to Harbor. Yeah, I'm going to take the Bragg in and just put everything else in Harbor in a second. And I think Charleston is in better shape. Yeah, actually much better shape. And so actually the Charleston is ready to get put to sea. We got to be very careful about how we finagle this. We don't want to engage Fort Monroe. I'd really rather take that via a land route. But having liberated Norfolk here, we're in a much better situation. And these do, I think they repair faster in harbor. That's why I've always moved ships that were badly damaged out of fleets. They will repair out to sea or on the water, but I think it's a slower rate, and so that's why I try to put them in harbor. The Casemate Ironclad, honestly, at 89%, we'll just let it rebuild. That's fine. And that's, well, I don't know why you're still here. Did I move the 100%? I did. I moved the Bragg, and I shouldn't have. All right. And that's 97%, so that's okay. And we're building a bunch of these up to try to get a presence back in the interior, the Brownwater Navy in the interior. So we'll see how that goes. I could also just create, actually, while I'm here, how many frigates and stuff do I have? I wonder, it would be whatever I started with or captured. Ships, tender, gunboat, brig. Yeah, so actually it's a lot. Okay, so we have the Savannah. I wonder if that's it. What I was thinking is just putting them together and just running them into Fort Monroe. But having thought of it, I'm now thinking better of it. Propaganda. Let's see, how much is this going to cost me? That would cost $5 million. Civ Order is actually cheaper. I may go back to Civ Order because I'm thinking that this war is just going to go longer than I expected. Because the AI is doing things better than they've done them in the past. All right. I've turned away from this battle for far too long, I think. What is... I didn't even see that second corps. Yeah, that's a real force. All right. I want to move Army of the Northwest in first. I also think... Oh, that is terrible. I mean, so it's going to be great for their credit rating, but it is going to be terrible for their long-term national morale because it's going to reduce public wealth so much. This one... we'll see what happens here. All right, so we got the win. That was good. And maybe in that one, they actually just started off with their one-man, whatever. I'm going to shuffle Price back here, put him back in scouting. McCullough probably doesn't need scouting. Polk can stay right where he is. Oh, they did burn down the supply depot, as they should have. But I was hoping to capture one of them intact. All right, Bragg can just stop. Polk can also stop. So 65,000 against 25. We'll see what happens. Oh, they brought in that second corps. So I would have liked to fight that one, if only to try to eliminate this threat. And I guess right up until now, I could still do it, right? Well, we got Ag 2. So I think... Conscription Act 1? Yeah. I think so. Because we're going to have... maybe in about a year, we're going to have some of the 2-year contracts run out. And we want to be able to get those folks back. Plus we have casualties, so we want to kind of deal with that. All right, so they had 270 killed. We had 218 killed. Yeah, probably one I should fight more because they're going to screw it up. All right, Western Army needs to get back, or should get back. I think we're going to move price over here. We are going to move price over there. Whitting is here. And now I want to retake Fort Pillow. I don't know that I'm going to be able to do it when there's a core, when there's all that there. All right, Garnett, you need to get moving. Since you're the one that's probably in the best position to move. We'll move you. We'll move Whitting. Yeah, and these guys are just, they're in a rough spot. All right, finances. So I would expect their credit rating now. Yeah, okay, so to be as good as mine, which will open up doors for, there's more headroom to recruit. There's more headroom to get better weapons. I think it has to be A- for them to start building buildings, which generally I don't want the AI to do because they're pretty bad at it. I don't know what's up with this men fielded thing. Their support, right? When support is high, and 83 is still pretty high, they should be doing better. They didn't recruit anyone last month, which is really odd. They're supposed to be, in this playthrough, they're supposed to be trying to get 75% more, so not quite double what I have, but they're supposed to pursue at least a 50% advantage in each theater. So if I have 10,000, they would try to have 50,000, right? If I have 50,000, they would have 75,000, and so on. So it hasn't happened yet, but it'd be nice if it did. All right, Garnett's moving along the lines pretty well. It seems like Garnett's been involved a lot, yet well, it's their training, I guess, is regular. But the army itself hasn't, well, I guess, I don't think armies do accumulate experience. The brigade's in it? Not really. Yeah, that's odd. Huh. Well, we're not done with the Tennessee campaign because we still have to deal with this, and we still want to get that, and then we have to get back to defend Nashville. But it is shaping up nicely. All right, if Ferguson is there, I'm happy with that. He can go scouting. This is what we were looking for over here. The First Corps, which is now out of supply. So what do we have? We have 16 and 18. That'll give us 34, 35 at most. Those aren't great numbers. So we'd have to bring Ferguson up, and that would pretty much put us tied with the First Corps in manpower, assuming that there's no other reinforcements here coming through Stanton. So I think for now, what we do is try to get our readiness up. Maybe we just strike. I don't know. I was going to try to wait for Johnston in case there are reinforcements here, but it's hard to know because once this supply depot gets going, they're going to be able to supply They might be able to supply the First Corps, but if not, they'll be able to supply a push deep into Southwest Virginia, and I think they're going to come back for Knoxville, or at least an area down around Knoxville. The problem is if I put these armies in that are in the yellow, Ferguson would definitely go orange afterwards. Magruder almost certainly. If Johnson gets called in even right now, he'll go deep into the orange, maybe even into the red, just based on the way things tend to work. So then their mobility is really cut down, and we're in trouble. Crawford over here is organizing. I can try to get a new army with the Army of, or a new corps with the Army of North Carolina. I'd want to do it somewhere that's in supply, a little bit more in supply. I'd likely be down here. In terms of the blockade, yeah, it's that 5% is just, it's got to be some policy that they took. By the way, what did I choose? Oh, I chose Conscription Act. Oh, geez, that's going to take a while. I didn't know that. I was thinking it would be much. Do I have two things active? That's what it looks like. Yeah, it says multiple policies are active. What happened here? I would never do that. No way, man. 30 days makes much more sense. Oh, I was thinking of doing Diplomacy 1. I still am thinking of doing Diplomacy 1. But we've already queued up Conscription X, so we're going to let that run through. Plus, I'm worried that my national morale is getting a little too high. I know what a problem to have. But I had this problem in the last campaign where sometimes when it gets high, it just stays high and you can't bring it down. You're kind of just artificially beating the AI because you get stuck in this loop where morale keeps pulling up support. You never go down, and they do. So, but I don't think that this, right, the average of these two is what, 91, and theirs is 82. I mean, if you think about how the war has progressed 15 months in, I mean, there were a number of invasions. They've mostly been beat back, but not everywhere. Both sides have been bloodied, but we've dealt more casualties to them than the other way around. We've broken off the blockade, which started poorly. So actually, I think like an average around 91 national morale and support makes sense for the CSA. And for the Union, they still have more troops in the field. Their financial situation is going to be very good right now, but their national morale and support are going to fall because of the economic policies I gave them. They're not supposed to be triggering now. They're supposed to come in later, but I just have to make that change so that it's only taken in case of an emergency. But for a while, their credit rating should be good, and I think these numbers kind of make more sense based on how the campaign is actually played. Yeah, based on the one civil war we're actually dealing with here in 1861, 1865. All right, Army of Tennessee doesn't need all that much because it's pretty much a one-man army. Is this actually real? It seems hard to believe, doesn't it? All right, well, let's try to vanquish it. Seems like a bad joke or something. Take you out of scouting. Bring Whitting in. I don't know if this is real or just bad intelligence. I still also think that there might be a Union army. There is a Union army somewhere down here, I believe. So that's blue, that's blue. You know how we can find out? One of the coolest filters, right? So this tells me that there's a Union force down here somewhere. All right, 45,000 against. So we outnumber them 2-1. Oh, and they've already moved in. That's interesting to know. Should have had this up earlier. But you see how they've taken pretty much half of Virginia. If they can hold it, we're in trouble. I think I'm going to fight this battle. I'm kind of tired of dragging this out. And I just want to smash them here. And then I guess I have to send Garnett and whoever else down south to probably deal with this last corps. Okay, we are at Shiloh. They have a 5-pointer down here. I haven't seen multiple points yet. It's disappointing. I think this being Shiloh, though, and I'm waiting on reinforcements, I'll likely pause all of you until something develops. But I'm going to try to get a force large enough to smack them down and then try to win. All right, so we went through end of day. We couldn't quite unify the forces, but we found out where they are. And the plan going into day 2 is to have Garnett kind of move left, center. They're probably going to redeploy because this is what we knew at the end of the day. We haven't. Here, we'll just press play now. Oh, whoops. So we're going to move back. But as I was saying, the plan was, it still is, to bring Bragg up. Not right there, but maybe more right there. We can detach Lee, send him forward. We do the same here with Steven's going to send him forward, and then we're going to send Polk right here. And actually, Garnett in general should just move up here. It's interesting. Yeah, they're kind of redeploying to deal with this, but this is not what they need to be concerned about. Chasing that cab they need to be concerned about, but I mean, they're deployed. I think this is reasonable, right? They got fences and fields, and I mean, it's Shiloh. It's, you know, speed things up a bit. It's going to be rough going. I noticed that most of the brigades in Daniel's division are pretty junk. Like they were starting to crack just by marching. Again, it's marching through Shiloh, but it shouldn't have been as bad as it was. So whatever, they're going to move over. You can see they're now reforming to, I think, deal with Garnett. That's, oh my goodness, did you start? I feel like Walker is starting almost every battle starting every battle broken. I don't know what that issue is. I don't know why on earth they are marching in a column. That is known only to others. Pickett's doing the same. I mean, this is bad. So I doubt we'll lose on victory points. They only have the 5-pointer. Never say never, but I doubt it. But I want to try to move around but not too much, because if they rotate over to deal with something else, I want to be able to hit them from these other directions. Should be Haygood or Hagood. I know somebody told me how to actually pronounce it, but still couldn't figure it out. All right, some early morning artillery. I guess there is actually decent sightlines, but we're just gonna have to have everybody rest over here. Lawton, he also started broken. Man, there's a lot of that going around. So that being the case, there's really no point in bringing any of you up. All right, Lee can have Whitaker back off. They're okay. Yeah, actually, go ahead and do that. All right, we don't need you over there. But yeah, Walker's going to be useless. We'll have Maney come up and kind of join Daniel, and we can push Chilton's division up. I guess the artillery can be included in that. Stevens, really small cav. All right, so if they're going to continue to chase Lee, rather than running away from my left, we should run towards Polk and Bragg. Waiting, why don't you move over? Pillows division, why don't you guys move up? Teleferro, why don't you move over there? That's okay, and that's okay. All right, let's see how they do. Okay, order Chilton's division up here. Pillow's actually fine. Telefero is okay. I'm gonna get the Cav moving around to the on my right and their left. These guys are gonna be useless, I think. Those guys. Did they start the battle broken? They did. These guys are just marching in line. Go figure. The artillery's doing the same. I don't know what's wrong with them. That's right, Walker shouldn't do anything like that. They should just hang out. Actually, you know, they can still give the morale buff to friendlies even though they are unstable themselves. I mean, Bragg being out of position is bad. How are the brigades, though? So some of them are okay. Pegram. Can move Daniel up. Can move Wilcox. How are we doing here? They're all pretty good. Polk. Yeah, Stevens is okay morale-wise. He's just... his numbers are so small. Actually, his numbers are so small. We're just going to try to keep him closer to others. Lee's Cav can come around to the back and try to whoop up some morale. And maybe it's now time to detach the artillery so that we can give divisional orders. Come on, let me click on you. There we go. Detach. Detach. It is only 8 a.m. too. I mean, I'm making a big deal out of them not being here on time, but they've only been on the field for a couple hours. All right, let's see what we can see here. I hate battlefields where you can't hear anything. All right, some hooves. Some wind. All right, that's fine. All right, we'll have Haygood back here. All right, I'll spare you the details, and when we're ready to go, I'll bring you back. I heard some shooting, and I immediately brought you back in. It looks like we're just skirmishing here. We're all ready to go on the left and in the center. The right is still dragging badly. Though I don't love the use of divisional orders because they tend to blob up a lot. I kind of just like pushing forward and then giving them advance orders. I might do it because it doesn't seem like the artillery does anything. Right? Like it's not doing anything. It's just kind of sitting there even though it should be able to do something. So sometimes when you give them divisional orders, I was wondering why those guys are moving so fast. Then the artillery actually shoots. But a bunch of the troops down here on the right, I think it was Jackson. Yeah, that Jackson's division. I like to number the brigades, and they're exhausted and very tired. But Kemper isn't because he's been there for a while. So that's that. Pemberton, we're going to detach and just move up. Hill, since I'm here, we're going to detach and move up. And let's see, Forbes. is one of those that started broken. Walton might be... yeah. So we're just going to detach him, which means Alcorn only has Richard Anderson's demi-brigade. Alright, they foolishly moved up and got shot. Yet we're still at minor defeat. I'm guessing it's because of the movement time. And they've just had a lot of time to sit on that 5-pointer and capture it. Maybe we move up. Move you there. Move Chilton's division up. Move Wilcox in the back. Pillow can advance his division up to there, and Taliaferro can advance his up like that. If artillery's not going to do anything, I'm going to give it orders. House rules be darned. I thought that they would be on initiative, and I think sometimes they are, but they don't actually take it, so we have to give them some initiative. Alright, we'll give them bombardment targets. They're not doing anything. So that's a fine one. Bombard the center. There we go. Bowen has a target. Alright, Hill's going to try to find one. Pemberton's going to try to find one. I would doubt it. And let's just watch it. We've stopped moving? That's not your destination. Pillow's division. We're still moving up. You're still moving up. Who do we have over here? Right, this is Daniel's 1 brigade division. Apparently isn't doing enough. Chilton's far more sizable division, which is going to try to engage that 1 brigade. Yeah, we do have cav over here. Let's ride all the way. Let's not. Let's keep them close by this brigade. They're going to need all the support they can get. Morally and riflely. Alright, we'll see if the fencing messes up this cab. I hope not, but it frequently happens. We'll fix their alignment. These guys are these oh, these are mine. Okay. This might be a close range volley. Oh no, what are you doing? They're coming in for the melee, I guess. Alright. Oh, they might win. Yeah, this guy's in a rough spot. This actually isn't terrible positioning by those divisions. I guess that charge did not work. And we'll order them up. Turn them about. completely ignored what's going on over here. And it looks chaotic over here. Cavalry, or the troopers, are using their horses as screens. Alright. It's rough. I'll fix them. Alright. There we go. We got a firing line. If they haven't broken, I would imagine they might. It's not as bad as I thought. One of the downsides of having 16 points from that 5-point objective, that's a lot, is that it keeps your troops in a fight longer, whereas, you know, the AI can only do what it's programmed to do, so it can't break away until a good deal later now. Let's see, Jackson's division, for what that is worth, can try to move here. Anderson's brigade can move up. This is when it's just, it seems odd. Wow, 2,000 men surrendered. It seems odd that the AI would even take it. I've tried modding this in the past to get the AI to recognize that battles are pretty hopeless and then just withdraw from them. I mean, on the campaign map, they were surrounded, so I'm not sure how that would have worked, but even in this battle, it could have just withdrawn, and it would have been, I think, far better than this. They have a little gap here they can try to move through. They gotta be closer. Yeah, it's not a major victory, but it says it is. Alright. So I guess we can shoot at retreating troops. Oh, I guess some of them aren't actually... Okay, now the other ones actually are retreating, but... Anyways, that's the Benny Hill show. Yikes. These are bad. I mean, these are bad. I mean, it's Fremont, but... Yeah, those are... bad numbers. That we've been getting more of those battles recently. Alright. Glorious victory at Purdy. 340 of them killed, 100 of ours killed, 3,600 those sent to POW camps, 3,500 rifles captured. Of course, what really matters are there strategic implications? Kind of. I mean, we'll have to see how this shakes out and who's got what readiness, but I think it's probably going to have to be Garnett that tries to find whatever corps or corps are down there. And then, I guess, Weeding, whatever. He became famous, by the way, in that the result of that battle. Not sure. Outnumbering the enemy 3-1 and crushing them is really grounds for that, but alright, I guess it's an accomplishment. And, yeah, we gotta do that, but we also know about the push over here, and I think that third corps is coming. It looks like it's building up, but I would like to try to retake these forts. I think these two might be able to deal with this. Missouri Guard, in order to deal with it, though, is going to have to cross the river so that we're on land fighting them. Yeah, I think that's going to have to be how that goes. How long have we been in this one? So only 40 minutes? It seems like this has gone on much longer. Not that I'm not having fun, but seems like a lot has gotten done. So 132,000. There must be. Wonder if that fourth. Okay, so again, the fact that I know this is a little ridiculous, but that fourth corps attached to the Army of Washington was just raised a couple days ago. Okay. A lot of this was known. Uh, so with Johnson, he doesn't have that many wounded. Actually, we can just look at the entire army. Out of 50,000, fewer than 2,000 are wounded, so it's not bad. Ferguson, it's right, it's less than 5%, so that's okay. And for Chuckles, we only have 39,000 volunteers. What's our finances like? All right. So here's a balance idea. I think when I'm done with whatever I'm doing, Conscription Act, I think maybe I'll do print notes, at least print notes 1 and 2, so that it kind of equalizes things a bit. Probably save the war bonds as the true emergency financing thing, and then on the policy or project side, I think we need another take of recruitment offices. How much is the next one going to be? Come on, you can tell me. 7 million more for that one. Civ order, I would say yeah, based on how things are rolling. And we're close to farm mechanization. All right, we're going to do that and sit tight for a second. Charleston Squadron is just roaming around with not much to do. What is this? What is this? Who do they think they are? Yeah, now we have something to do. I'm not sure if that intelligence report is correct, but if it is, let's do something about it. All right, we're going to sneak Rousseau out too. We don't get bottled up in Norfolk. Johnston. All right, I know we're moving. Yeah, we're moving too slow now. 5x a little bit better. I don't know who wins that foot race though. Yeah, destination Knoxville. Okay, Garnett. You got to try to move. Whitting, move with him. They're not imminently ready. All right. Price is getting there. Why is Price such a bad state? I guess Price is pretty much out for a while. It looks like actually McCullough's not much better. It's just the food situation. Provisions are coming from there. McCullough's coming from somewhere. I don't know that building a depot would help all that much, but it might. Might help a little. Or it may be easily captured. I really don't know. But I have a feeling this is a path that they're going to continue to push. I was thinking about creating an army of... Holy moly. So, at first I thought this was good, and now I think that this is just silly. Right? They should be stopping to build a supply depot, actually capture Knoxville. All right, let's do something. It's really not the right order. You should move the army that has the longest travel time first, so they arrive more near together. Move the army of North Carolina. I was thinking of creating an army of Georgia that would kind of deal with everything from Chattanooga over to Knoxville, or maybe Decatur to Knoxville, but that's not where we are. And this is a battle I want to fight. It's going to come at the expense of making this episode long, I think. Yeah. And I'm probably going to have to put you on pause for a while because, well, we're going to have to play defense at first. And they're all going to be there. I think when we get everybody back, we should be all right. I don't know if in that other force all those units have combat experience. I think maybe a number of them, this might be their first battle, unless they've mixed them in from elsewhere. But that is a very large corps. Yeah, we'll see. All right, so I'm bringing you in as, I'm going to go ahead and play this. Some things to note. Even though we're outnumbered 2-1, at least for now, they're giving us a minor victory. So we have some room. I don't know why that improved. Also, in the same episode that I said I haven't seen more than 2 victory points, they actually did spawn 2, a 5 and a 3. If a lot of time passes and we're not able to push, those can accumulate, right, a lot for the Union. I wonder if the morale reason here is, in fact, because there are a lot of newer troops, or if they've been out of supply, right? And so they have that low food penalty that we saw with our troops. The plan here is to stay back. I mean, right, as you can see, it's to hang back here. Actually, I didn't check to see if this is any of my people's first battle. I don't see it. I wouldn't think so. But actually, there might be a few brigades, 1 or 2 brigades, that I raised recently. Maybe that was Bragg somewhere else. But anyways, we're going to sit back and play defense until the rest of our force arrives. Said in the intro that I should end up with 71,000. And, you know, from where, I have no idea. But this is probably where I'm going to put you on pause. It's Appomattox Courthouse map, which is a nice map. Right? It's got a nice mix of open. It's got some terrain features. It's got some buildings. It's got some forest. So it's a very interesting map. It looks like we're all going to come from over here. There was a red circle down here, but I'm sure that that's not it. And if they're just going to sit back and defend, that's okay. And the other thing I forgot to mention, we'll see what the updated intelligence report tells us. We didn't have anybody in scouting. But I think it's in condition report. So it's Ferguson's Corps. We're not all here. Yeah. So it's 10 hours for the Army of Shenandoah, and then it's 8 hours for Ferguson's Corps. But if you check out what time it is, right, it's 4:15 in the afternoon. So it's not going to be that long before we end up going to nighttime. That's not what I wanted to do. Not Johnston's division. It's Beauregard's, basically, corps. And the plan will be not you. You don't have to move. I'm just going to detach you and move you around. Do the same with you while I'm thinking of it. And then what I'm going to try to do is bubble deploy forward those reinforcements as long as they come through here. Ferguson's Corps is the only one I can think of that might. Well, I can't enter through here. We haven't captured those points. But since I know where their troops are, actually, we might be able to capture some of these and see if that gets Ferguson's Corps here faster. But I think it's Johnston's Corps that's the latest arriving one. That makes sense to come back from here. So I think if I keep McLaws here, I believe I could probably bubble deploy, right? McLaws would be here. They would come in here. And then if I move some of these other basically corps forward, they might be able to deploy up here, and we might be able to get an attack pretty early next day. So we're going to try to find the length of their line with Blanchard's cav. I'm pretty sure that this is, well, it's their right, my left of their line. But since I'm just kind of hanging out, I'm gonna take you, put you on pause, and then bring you back. We found a little bit more of their line when there's more to show you. I only bring this in to show you the kind of master bubbling work, right? So McLaws was here, Magruder and Beauregard, leader of the corps, were here. I don't know what the heck this thing is. So all right, so this is Ferguson's corps. Sure. I don't know why they came in the center like this, but I think that this is Johnston, right? Well, it is Johnston. Yeah, it is. So whatever, they did some weird thing there. I mean, for role-playing reasons, I could just put Johnston and Ferguson in the center, and then say that overnight, whoever the heck this was, Magruder, Beauregard, and then Magruder are going to move around. Based on what our cav were able to show us, I think they're kind of on to behind our points. So I'm going to finish this deployment, and then I'm going to move forward, and we'll see what we get. All right, I am all redeployed. I did what I said. We kind of role play that Beauregard and Magruder, who were here, scooched out, and that left room for Ferguson and Johnston's basically their corps to come in. I think I've detached all the artillery and I've placed it further forward in fields. It's dangerous because I don't know where their infantry is going to start. It's also a little dangerous that I've kind of dispersed along a longer front, and so their smaller numbers won't matter that much. The plan is eventually we're going to also loop Stuart's cavalry up here with McCullough, and we're going to try to have them hover at the margins and maybe tie down some forces. It looks like they have some folks here maybe started routing or starting to crack. This is dangerous too because we have the edge of the map, and so we can't really run away. But we're going to try to hold them down. And then I think we'll see what they do. I think the main push is probably going to be up in here. I mean, we can clean these divisions up a bit and see what we get like this, but this is kind of what I'm thinking, more demonstration on this flank and then some bigger pushes elsewhere. I mean, these guys can either demonstrate out here and tie down some forces, or they can fall back as, here, we'll actually put Johnston back here, and we'll put Herbert over here. Or they can rotate up and try to push this area around the Liberty Church. If we do that, we should negate any sort of cover they're going to have along this rail line on this backside. We could just come up and press them. If they move in to deal with that, we can try to push the flank. Enough talking, enough theorizing. Let's see what we actually get. All right, we're going to recall our scouts because we already know where they are, and we just don't want scouts kind of hindering us. Stuart can actually get scouts out because I have no idea where they are up here. And we still need to find them. We may need to pull a reconnaissance in force. It's 5 in the morning, which is why it's so dark. Apparently we have eyes on some of them, though, because we're doing that stuff. I don't know that darkness is going to get us all that much we want. I was going to say I would see if we could come up on this rail line here and use it as cover and capture this point, but I just cannot see anything up here. So we'll see what we can see. These guys don't have far to move to get on that rail line, so that's okay. I think Buckner Sr. can start moving that way as well. Figuring out the spacing is very tricky. I know, a less than brilliant observation, but it's still true. Okay, Hardy. I don't think they're that fragmented. Of course, one of the downsides of riding this cavalry run is if it becomes a morale contest, we're not getting the support that Cav should be giving to infantry, or the debuff to enemy units. It was really odd that this army this Union Corps, I think, had no cavalry. That's not usual. So it was disappointing because generally the AI has been doing good on recruiting, like in pretty reasonable, I think pretty reasonable ratios. The ones I gave them, which are similar to my own. All right, we haven't seen anything yet, so we're gonna push Holmes's division. We're gonna inch them up to that rail line. All right, so we found them sitting back here. This is bad for them. It might be bad for me as well, but not seeing anything yet. We're actually going to collapse a little bit faster to the center. I'm going to move Holmes up more aggressively on the theory that they don't have a lot of troops here, and they're probably deployed in a straight line. What have they gathered off of victory points? They've gathered 8. That's fine. We're about to get the 5er. I wonder if we now push against this, I think they're going to have too much moving to do to stop it. I don't know if they would necessarily get there in time. All right, so Cooper's cav doesn't need to scout. Neither does Blanchard's. What we need to do is get up here on these rail lines and try to hold them. Capture that victory point. Move Thompson's battery up. Move a bunch of these batteries up. They were all detached in the well, I think they were all detached in the overnight. But we'll move them up like that. And then I think the play is to actually attack from the south here. Let's see who's under Beauregard's command. Yeah, we'll do that. And then Ferguson's corps will do this. And Johnston's can push up here. And I think we're going to hold with Magruder up here on this point and see how they respond. All right, they're now moving up, so we're going to move up as well. Beauregard, we're going to move you here. Ferguson, she's going to move you up here. And then Johnston, we're going to move right here. So now as our forces get closer together, the cav being dispersed out is not as big a deal. And one of the other things we ought to do is try, here, we're going to pull our cav back off this line, is to try to get in a straight line so that we can maximize the number of units who are going to get that cover bonus. Buckner Sr., we're going to do the same thing. Claws, for role-playing reasons, we'll move up. All right. It's pretty cool fog. I think that's a fog effect. I don't think that's just terrible graphics. All right, but they're reconsolidating back over there. Let's see what we see. Our units in the center will now get there faster because that's where they move to. I know that's again, the brilliant observations you get on this channel, but they had less far to go. Even if they had to move through forest, I don't think it was comparably as difficult. And it looks like we are heading for a showdown here in the woods. Maybe we'll actually keep Breckenridge right where he is. Hardy where he is. Move Stuart up and over. All right. No, I don't think we need to fall back. Um, I'll probably regret this, but let's see what happens. All right, so that was them. Davidson, same thing. Give them an attack order. Try to press them right up there. Frost Division can come up here. Breckenridge's Cav is here, and maybe we'll just hold right there with our Cav. Beauregard's force kind of coming up. I'm going to put Herbert's Corps there. I think it was, I don't know, someone else's brigade who was already, or somebody else's division. The division that's not Herbert's or Herbert, whoever it is. I don't know, for whatever reason, this kind of reminds me of some artist who tends to do Civil War sketches. Yeah, and this is why I generally hate kind of divisional orders, even though they have some uses, that they're just clumping up on each other here. Oh, we broke keys. I can't complain too much about the result there, but was it Brian? Yeah, Brian I gave the attack order to. Alright, so these guys, oops, no, they were right, I was wrong. Oops, they were right again. Alright, I'm going to come over there, and now it looks like Magruder's forces are going to be out of the fight if we don't move them. And so, we're going to have to move them. Alright, we're going to rush Frost Division up here. Oh, no, 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 no. And Floyd's up here. And then that should be Davidson's division that's going to move up here. Oh, for real, yeah. For real, you guys should spread out. Okay, get down and get loose. No, is his name Kunstler? I think that's the name I've seen. Mort, maybe? Is that? That's what I think it is. Alright, there is a whole big jam going on here. Archer. It happens. Yeah, there's a whole big blob going on here. And it looks like we're probably going to lose 2 brigades there. Got good shots here, though. Uh-oh. Alright, so they... I think that was uh-oh Howard. I think he just lost like 2,300 men or whatever that said. Alright. Alright, poor Breckenridge's Cav. Can we send anyone... Actually, we are sending people. Alright, they just have to get there a little bit faster. As do they. Holmes. It's not really Holmes, it's Magruder, whose troops need to move much more quickly. Yeah, Breckenridge keep falling back. Atchison, you fall back as well. I can't do anything. They might as well just shoot. Well, not like that. Not like that. I don't know why you're turning away. You're better off just shooting at this point. Alright, but we might have to write off that Cav. Breckenridges in the name of maybe crushing a division or two up here. So, alright, they know to continue to attack. Our cav is doing what they can, but it's going to be bad. And yeah, we'll try to get Atchison out of there. Yes. We're gonna try to bring some friendlies over, but they gotta pump those crazy dwarven legs. Well, they're either routing or in full retreat. I can't tell here in the center. Johnston's army. Well, it's a little bit of both. That's what it is. But we're sitting on both the victory points, and we're kind of in their path of retreat if they plan to go back this way. Oh no. Just engage them. Yeah. No, don't mount up. Don't blob up. Just shoot them. Just shoot them. There you go. Or do that, I don't care. Maybe a little bit of rear guard action here. And they've broke, but they just haven't ran yet. But that brigade or two will have a rude awakening in a moment. Yes, yes. Well, I'm not old kill cavalry for no reason. Alright, we'll order them up. Alright, we need to try to stay in hot pursuit here, so I give Johnston attack orders. What happens? Here, we're going to try to have them crash down like that. And then Buckner Sr. I want right there, and I want Holmes right there. And we'll move you up. Move all that artillery up, or at least as much of it as I can remember to move. Davidson, yeah. They're attacking Thomas. That's fine. I don't think there are any shots over here, so try to move them. Lost Archer, Donovan, and Breckenridge that I can see. And we're in the process of losing these guys who I can't even click on. There we go. Yes, well. But this is overkill by the AI. I mean, 3 brigades at most would do it, but they're seeding a lot of stuff over here, and they're sacrificing a lot of these brigades who are now going to be outnumbered. I mean, generally, one-on-one, whoever has the better cover, or weapons, or experience might win. Yeah, that's actually a good way to move, but yeah, they'll break, and it's fine. Blame their handler. I actually don't know what the top line number... They're not doing that well. I mean, casualties were doing well. Alright, looks like we broke them. These guys look like they're in rough shape. They're getting some nice flanking shots into this brigade who's not going to like it. These guys are just left out. Is that Thomas? I think it is. They're doing well. Their morale is definitely holding up under the circumstances. So that's Ferguson's core. That's Johnston. All right, so these might be getting entangled a bit. Davidson. So, yeah, I think they are entangled. All right. Well, having beaten off the Cav on those flanks, they can now concentrate on what's in front of them. Not my best work, not my worst. But I would say it's pretty mediocre so far. Oh no. Oh wait, no, you were right. You just got to get loose. And then I would say attack. I wouldn't. No. I would say shoot them. I don't care how you do it, just do it. Are we tired? What's the issue up here? Oh no. They are. Alright, call a halt. Buckner, how's it going? They're okay, actually. So then we're going to push through this gap right here. Hopefully that's a gap. Frost Division, they got some stuff going on in front of them. Alright, so we broke Thomas. Davidson's division is going to try to get up here. Johnston. We're a little cluttered here. Alright, Davidson's going to push up there. I'm missing something, right? But if Davidson's going to push that way, then Johnston can't really do too much for us. He can just kind of act as a reserve for Herbert's division. Yikes, they're very tired, very tired. They're not doing great. But this is the, you know, it's with AI initiative on and divisional orders, so it is what it is. Okay, Cooper, you really want to fall back, don't you? But you shouldn't. You guys are doing what you should. They're exhausted. Alright, that explains it. It's kind of what I thought, but I just didn't think that Cav would be that exhausted. Where is their HQ? Alright, so it's Frost. Frost knows to attack. That's good. Buckner Sr., you should also know to attack. They got a good pocket here. But it looks much weaker over here. Wallace looks like he's not sure about this. Abercrombie's in good shape. Davies and Blanker are in good shape as well. Cavalry. Oh, I see. Actually, you might be right. You might be right. No, you were right. I would say get loose and then duck. Can this artillery not see anything? It looks that way. Even if we move it a little? Johnston. I think we're going to need you over here. And probably quickly. This looks like a real push. And if you can't see anything, we're going to move that artillery back. thinking with these guys, yeah, just retreat before we lose you. You can run. They're pausing to catch their breath. Now I'm kind of doing what I didn't want to do, which was to attack all along the front. Just trying to avoid that. Oh well. McClaws, to the degree that you can rally anybody, go for it. Who else is back here? Floyd's division? Alright. Put that artillery way over there. Can we just give you a bombard order and just bombard right in front of you? I'm sorry, I'm tired of watching you guys screw this up. This potentially isn't bad if these two do collapse down and hit this line end on. That could be quite good for us. I have a feeling this brigade has been under a lot of fire for a while. Longstreet's doing alright, though. Alright, and Albert Sidney Johnson's division moved very well so far. Because they are trying to get around us on our left now. Tricky, tricky. Anyways, let's try to keep this cav somewhat close. How tired are they? They can just stop. That's okay. I think we got to focus on beating down this pocket in the center. If they want to flank, they can. I didn't realize that so many of those brigades had routed. Guys can try to rally. I don't know how it's going to go, but... it's rough. It's rough. Alright, so we broke... Catterson? I thought it was just Patterson. I wasn't seeing a B for some reason. Alright, let's see how the work against Abercrombie... Abercrombie usually does well when I'm on campaigns with him. No real complaints. Is Longstreet... Alright, Longstreet's not actually doing what he should be doing. We'll see if we can get them to lay down, but we need another brigade here to step up and do something. Who is commanding this group? Colquitt? Oh, I never gave them attack orders. Alright, well, that's my fault. Johnston, we'll give attack orders too. We'll see how they do. I feel like they should be able to figure that one out. I mean, considering we have the victory points, we could probably just defend. But if they're still mobile like this, there is a threat here on this left. There's no way that was the angle you were told. That was the angle you were told to move. There you go. All right, this is a good push here, and I think we spoke too soon in singing the praises of Abercrombie. Cooper's brigade is Okay, that's not who we want. Want that cav. Yeah, okay. So, just, yeah, for real, just stop. You're fine. Get that energy back. Go ahead and dismount. Wow, we got them to retreat already? I think they're actually going to stay and fight. At least the brigades that could over here, and some of the ones deeper over here. Right, that line hasn't been broken yet, but the others are in rough shape, and you can see the lag we're fighting when we're zooming out there. Yeah, they probably weren't going to do much more, but I am a little surprised that they ran like that. We're going to get greedy here. There's no other division for Beauregard? Hmm. No. No. Did both? Davidson's fine. Magruder? Anybody? Actually, yeah, we'll just tell McLaws to do it. Let's see what we get. Blanchard. Alright, Blanchard's okay. Cooper, not so much. Beauregard. Yeah, let's go after Burnside. Let's go after them. Sure. And we'll go after that cav. Alright, enough is enough. They're retreating. I was trying to do some cool stuff in pursuit. It did not happen. But the video only went, right, we're trying for an hour. We almost went to an hour and a half, but that means we're done. This episode 7,500, so we did about 2-to-1 casualties there. Yeah, I guess it ended up all right. All right, we captured 5,000 rifles, 673 killed to 470 killed, so it was much closer there. We had about 3,400 are going to prison camps. Don't believe. Great. That actually probably met my conditions of victory. And let's pause here for a second because I think I can finally build some prisons. Which, you know, if I don't want to give the manpower back, I don't think they're too expensive. Let me remember how to build prisons. What? How is our only prison in Columbus, Ohio? I could see a problem with that. All right. Let's see what we can do here. Federal prison, or federal buildings, prison camp, 2.2 million. All right. I still think you should be... Too soon? Too soon? But we're gonna have to build a bunch. And we can't because our credit rating isn't good enough. I thought maybe if it was paused, I could just spend... Oh, but we saw somehow that they have a core down here, which is an actual, like, core. You kind of got to respect. We got to go deal with that. It never ends. But we're not going to have to deal with it in this episode, thankfully. We're getting a supply depot. We're getting a prison built. We'll take those problems as they come. But, yeah, that wasn't over here anyways. I mean, that was the battle up here we were trying to do something about. All right, and they're slowly pulling back. Yeah. Anyways, there's a lot of housekeeping stuff to do after a battle like that, but it is what it is. And this, I feel like got a lot done in 90 minutes. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to have you back for the next one.